On the surface, she was the envy of everyone as the heiress of a wealthy family, but when she returned home, she would shed the glamorous disguise. She would return to being a maid in the family. She thought her identity would never be discovered. However, when she casually praised a classmate's hand-woven rope, a rich second generation noticed the clue. He told her that a true heiress wouldn't know so much about ordinary handmade crafts. His words hit her like a bucket of cold water, leaving her flustered. Her identity as a maid's child must not be revealed. Only an aristocratic identity could change her tragic fate. The girl was born into a family that valued sons over daughters. Everything in the house was arranged around her brother, so she worked desperately to change her fate through knowledge. However, before the exams, her mother secretly tore up her application form. To her mother, making money for her brother and buying him a house was the priority. To make matters worse, her mother planned to sell her for a bride price. The girl had no choice but to flee and seek refuge with her grandmother, who worked as a maid for the richest family. She also became a maid in that household, but the vast difference in status led to her suffering humiliation and exploitation. The heiress of the richest family asked the girl to attend school in her place. Thus, she became the heiress's shadow. A girl who loved design endured the humiliation and worked day and night on her designs. The only way for her and her grandmother to survive was to win a golden prize abroad. Though her work eventually won, the credit went to the heiress. The sponsor of the event was the heiress's father. The top spot was already predetermined. At that moment, the girl finally realized that money could distort the truth. She saw that talent meant nothing in the face of resources and background, but she refused to be a puppet of fate. So, she went to school, planning to first impersonate the heiress and eventually become the true heir of the wealthiest family. She not only had a chance encounter with the school director's son but also gained his favor. She planned to use him to get a scholarship for studying abroad. Soon after, at a dance, she publicly announced their relationship. Her identity as an heiress, coupled with being the school director's son's girlfriend, made her the object of envy among her classmates. But only she knew it was all a lie. Therefore, she treated her classmates kindly, even complimenting a scholarship student's hand-woven rope. The rich second generation noticed her behavior. He casually remarked that she didn't seem like a true heiress. That comment made her anxious. She decided to reduce her meetings with him because his observations were too sharp. Unknowingly, her boyfriend had a good relationship with the rich second generation. One evening, when her boyfriend took her to meet his mother, she encountered the rich second generation again. Her boyfriend's mother tested her with a simple challenge: play pool with her. But she hesitated. She had never played pool before. Her hesitation caused discomfort among the others. The girl realized that a real heiress must be able to play pool, or her identity would be questioned. So, she turned to the rich second generation for help, someone she had met before. He knew her predicament but still chose to help her. But no one expected her to let him break the cue ball first. He had the skill to clear the table. Even the rich second generation couldn't understand her thinking. Yet, he intentionally threw the game. In his eyes, the girl was a beginner with no threat. When it was her turn, he noticed her awkwardness at first, but her precision was spot on. Everyone was shocked when she won. The rich second generation realized she had never played before. She had asked him to go first to learn by observing. Her performance earned the approval of her boyfriend's mother. She was happily granted the chance to study abroad. Her second goal was achieved, but the rich second generation grew more suspicious. The more perfect she seemed, the more problematic it appeared. He had no idea of the efforts the girl was making to change her fate. Meanwhile, her mother was still calling, demanding money and threatening to find her and her grandmother at the rich family's house. To free her grandmother from the mire and secure her own freedom, she had no choice but to continue stealing identities and maneuvering in high society. She lived on a thin line, weaving lies to hold her position. She never intended to harm anyone, just to change her fate. On the other side, the rich second generation grew more interested in her. He couldn't help but want to learn more about her. While lost in thought, he collided with a girl coming toward him. Instinctively, he reached out to steady her. This action, however, brought her endless trouble. A classmate noticed this scene from a distance. She was the cousin of the girl's boyfriend and also had feelings for the rich second generation. She had confessed to him multiple times but was always rejected. Seeing this, she became furious. The scheming girl immediately made a call to investigate the girl. She soon realized there was something off about the girl's supposed heiress status. With suspicion growing, she began testing the girl. She noticed a banner for an overseas study program and came up with a plan. She suggested joining the program with her cousin and a few others. While everyone was excited, the girl hesitated. The cost of the program was $1.28 million per person. Where would a fake heiress find that kind of money? The scheming girl saw her hesitation. She deliberately mentioned that such a program was a litmus test for real heirs versus fakes. A fake would reveal herself simply by seeing the high registration fee. The girl realized she had no choice but to join the program. If she didn't, her heiress status would be questioned. But how could she raise $1.2 million in just 3 days? She began frantically searching for design competitions. She was confident in her ability to win, but the prizes were either too small or the deadlines too long. None of them could get her the money in time. Just when she felt hopeless, she overheard a man on the phone discussing a design competition with a high prize. But the deadline was midnight. She had only 6 hours. Her mind began to race. She sketched design after design but rejected them all. The library was nearly empty by nightfall. Finally, she completed a design she was satisfied with. With just 5 minutes left to submit, she didn't know the event's sponsor was the rich second generation. He noticed her design among many others and was surprised to find it resembled his late mother's work. But since she used a pen name, he couldn't confirm her identity. He instructed his assistant to investigate further. The day of the program arrived. Everyone waited, but the girl didn't show up. Some classmates began to suspect she couldn't afford the fee. Doubts about her identity started to spread. Her boyfriend tried calling her, but she didn't answer. As the departure time drew near, the teacher decided to remove her name from the list. Just then, a screeching halt was heard. The girl arrived just in time. The two people who had doubted her were now confused. She easily paid the $1.2 million. Was she a true heiress? Only she knew how close she came to exposing herself. She had just learned that her design won first place. As soon as the $1.5 million prize arrived, she rushed to pay the program fee. Now her heiress status should be secure, right? At that moment, the rich second generation received a call from his subordinate. The subordinate reported that the $1.5 million prize had been transferred to an elderly woman's bank account. The rich second generation had originally suspected the girl, but now he realized he had overthought it. Soon after, they all arrived at the study program's seaside villa. The girl, once constantly on edge, finally had a moment of peace. But she didn't realize the biggest crisis was just beginning, because, there, she unexpectedly met someone who was the true heiress of the wealthiest family. At that moment, the memories of being dominated by her resurfaced. She panicked. She never thought her hidden identity would be exposed after all these years.